All right, hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Game Drain. My name is Matt Likes Games. I'm with It's Me Twan, Hard Days Mike, and Ham Solo O5. What's going on, fellas? Let's start with Twan since he's right below me on the stream. So let's
Yeah,
start
I'm
with
the
Twan.
only one using the camera.
What's-
I've been
Oh my god.
like, well,
There
what's
we
going
go.
on?
My
Oh,
my phone's volume was turned all the way up, and I was opening it to read the chat, and it was just
Turn it
fucking
up.
blasting.
Turn it
yeah,
down.
I think I heard that in the background. But
Turn it
anyways,
down.
What? What?
Turn it down.
Twan, how are you doing? Don't look. Matt's having a
okay,
breakdown.
all right. Anyways,
How are you
let's
doing?
restart here. All right, so I think
Run the
literally-
intro again. Just kidding.
yeah, let's
sorry.
start over.
Okay, Mike, run the intro from the top, bud.
Okay.
So, anyways, so the first thing I was doing was I was spending 2 days to try to get Half-Life Alyx to run, only to not actually end up playing it. But I got it to run fine, so that's good. I was like, okay, I got it running. I don't want to look at this game for at least a week because like it was stressing me out. So I was like, okay, I literally have 2 hours of playtime, and that's just me testing the game. 2 hours of playtime, like in game. So
That's the best.
This is gonna be your
this is-
your VR version of Horizon Forbidden West, where you just never play it.
yeah. No, but I do want to play this game, but I just want to.
Okay.
Okay, I just want to.
Yeah, I got
And then
He's
another
never
game.
playing it. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. Go on.
But I've also been kind of dancing around the Resident Evil games in VR. Like I've been playing Resident Evil 4 on the Oculus Quest. That game's amazing. I've also just last night I was playing Resident Evil 7 again. Like I was just continuing that playthrough on the PSVR 1, and that game is terrifying in VR. Like holy shit, man! Like I was actually sweating. I couldn't tell if it was just hot in my room or if I was just scared because of the game. But that game is terrifying in VR, and that's kind of about it. No, actually, there's another game on VR I was actually trying out. Was Stormlands on Oculus Store, and that game was actually developed by Insomniac back in the day before they were bought out by PlayStation. And that game is actually a hidden gem. That game is fantastic. You're like this robot, and you got like you could like attach on to any surface. You could like fling yourself up, and you got like a jetpack. You get guns and things. It's a really fun game, and very underrated. So I think that about wraps it up for me. At least that's what I could think of to the top of my head at the moment. Anyways,
Alright,
Mike, you
sounds
go.
No, it's actually Ham's turn because Ham's below you. We're going in order.
I made it.
For
I
me,
don't
it
know, I'm
was
fucking-
me. Oh no, it is Ham. Yeah, that is Ham.
It's Ham, bud.
I'm not even.
I
I
looking at-
already said it before. Okay, Ham, go before I throw Matt out a window.
You can't.
Dude, could Ham even
Actually,
hear us?
I don't know. Okay, Mike, go ahead, bud.
Ham, you there?
So
Improvise.
really, improvise. So recently, I've been playing Borderlands 3 with my buddy Tom. As you know, Tom, Matt, and Twan been around. He's been around the
I've
Discord
met him.
server. We've been having a ton of fucking fun with Borderlands 3, dude. I just love those looter shooty type of games. They're really fun. Borderlands is also funny, and I mean, I don't really care for the main characters in Borderlands. I mean the main enemy in Borderlands 3, but I think everything else is very funny in that game. So that's a plus. It plays great. It's gorgeous too. I know it's like that whole cell shaded, like kind of like comic book ish graphics,
Salsa.
but like it's gorgeous. What?
Salsa.
I
Yeah.
love self-shaded games.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's so much fun. I also just beat Dead Island 2. Without going much into it, that game is fucking awesome. And after playing another recent release, it also put in perspective how fucking fantastic that game is, which we'll talk about later. We'll talk about that later, which I am enjoying that game to a certain degree though, so it's not gonna shit all over it. But it just kind of highlighted I don't know, that game is so well crafted to me. It has its issues, like a lot of games. It has its issues,
It's perfect. No.
but it does what it does very fucking well. The combat feels great. The story, albeit simple, I actually found it entertaining to follow because it was very A to B kind of. Like I said last week, gorgeous, fucking insanely gorgeous. Probably one of the best Unreal Engine game visually I have ever seen. Personally, I mean, there might be better ones, but recently, how about that? Like Gears of War's up there. But that game was fucking awesome. Adored the living hell of that. Matt's humming. And that's gonna throw me out a window at this rate. But
I can.
good luck. Yeah, really, I love Dead Island 2. That game is fucking awesome, and I really, really, really recommend it. I hear the console port is solid. The PC release is fucking solid, even though that recommended tech sheet, the recommended settings, it seemed a bit too high. But like realistically, you don't need the friggin' premium price stuff they're recommending. So it's just a very well made port of a game, and it's so much
It
fun.
seems like all platforms are getting the good treatment with that
Yeah,
game.
it's like that's what happens when you put the fucking effort in. It's
Vinny,
kind
what's
of
up?
Hey Vinny, thank you for stopping by, man.
Maybe
It's
they
kinda...
could even get that game. They could probably even get that game around the Switch.
Oh my
one.
god, Hamothy, I'm so. But yeah, adore the fuck out of that game. It's great. Other than that, I really haven't been playing anything else new. I do want to get into Redfall, but we all been outside of Twan because he's doing Twan things. We've all played Redfall, and we'll get into that definitely later.
Yeah,
But yeah,
Actually,
that's
speaking of console ports, has anyone actually heard about Hogwarts Legacy's PS4 version? Apparently, it's actually very well optimized. Like, it's actually like really good.
they must have
Yeah.
learned their harsh
Yeah.
lesson.
Supposedly the Xbox One and the PS4 version of Hogwarts Legacy runs fairly well on those consoles.
They must have learned a hard lesson from the initial release, which it wasn't like absolutely god awful, but it had its issues.
Mhm.
It had its issues on launch. Everywhere, every platform, nowhere
Well,
near
they
that.
just-
it made my
I
kid
think what they-
4080.
It
I
did.
feel like what they did was they just put in perspective what they can do and what they can't do in this amount of time, and I think they did what Cyberpunk wish it would have did, which is put out the next gen port first. Sure,
And
that's
delay
what's
it,
probably
yeah.
going to work
But Matt-
the quickest, and then continue to work on the last gen port once they ship out. I mean, it's fantastic for them because now that these two ports are done, now they can finally work on the Switch port or finish putting the finishing touches on that, which I'm actually very curious
And
in
it's
seeing how that works.
Matt, I do want to say though that and Dead Space, because Dead Space ate all my VRAM.
yeah,
That and Dead
and
Space.
I can't
and
wait to
it's
see
smart.
Hogwarts on
And I'm really curious how that turns out.
Nintendo.
And it's smart
Yeah.
considering the fact that that's going to give them 3 marketing cycles, basically. For
Yeah.
a game that doesn't even really need it.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't need to be marketed at all, but it will give them 3 marketing cycles, which is
But
pretty nice.
honestly, after this release, I'm
And it's
actually
a great
bit more
game.
hopeful. I'm a bit more hopeful for the Switch version, honestly, after the PS4 release.
Yeah,
I-
it's
it can't be absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
Like at the least, it can't be that bad.
Yeah.
It might
Like
not be ideal, but it can't be that bad.
But like, I have a bit more faith than I did before, though, for sure.
I
just
interested
imagine
to-
lower resolution, lower frame rate, and more load times. That's really probably the only differences.
and -0 low settings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they'll get somebody to just create settings on there that don't exist anywhere else.
Yeah.
But,
makes
Can't be
sense.
negative. It can't be negative low if they're putting it on the Switch. I mean, that's negative. That's like double negative low. Like it's like
You know what I bet? You know what I
we're
bet?
running
to
it
say,
off
It's
the
like making a
chip.
we're gonna
Tom,
see
what's
way
up?
Making a 360 version.
Hey Tom, you know what we're gonna bet? I bet with the Switch version, if it's still open world, is that literally every single, or at least the majority of every single door is going to be a harsh load time. When I harsh, I don't mean like you're gonna be waiting there 5 minutes, but it's gonna go to a loading screen with a majority of doors. Like especially when you're in that fucking castle or the school or whatever the hell, Hogwarts. That's the fucking name of the place. Like because there's a lot of, because you remember guys when you'd go into a new part of the school, like you could see the game kind of stutter a bit because it's loading everything in.
Yeah, like on the spot. You know?
So like I wouldn't be surprised if that game has harsh cutoff points in between doors.
I remember him. Yeah, the door would take a little while to open sometimes.
Yeah,
It's
you'd
like,
see that circle.
It's like Outriders, how they have an entire cutscene for just jumping across something.
Yeah. Oh my god, dude.
They just do that. I think that'd be great. But
It's
yeah. All right, Ham, you were getting set up. What have you been playing, dude? What have you been playing this past week?
So So I've been playing a lot of two broken games, Redfall and Star Wars. I've also been playing a little bit of NBA with you. Trying to remember what else. I know Ravenlock
I
for
was about to say
sure.
Ravenlock. You tried
I've been
Benedict or Fox or something.
yeah. The last case of Benedict
Hey,
Fox. I
Tom.
played a little bit of that. That game is really surprisingly interesting.
I need to try it.
I recommend it if you want something different, maybe something a little bit more relaxing. That's a good game. But like ultimate fun, relaxing games to me was even more than the last case of Benedict Fox was probably Ravenlock. I was very surprised with that game. It's pretty cool. And I'm gonna definitely be playing that some more tonight, probably after we get done playing some Redfall. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of what I've been playing as of lately. Yeah, that's it.
Nice. Well, as for myself, Ham said it. In fact, you know what? We're just going to skip me and we're going to get right into it. I want to start with, Redfall. I feel like we've all hinted at it.
Has Swan played it?
Oh, sorry. My
You've not-
internet. So what's going on?
Have you played Redfall, Swan?
Not yet. No, I was too busy fucking trying to get Half-Life Alyx to work on my PC. I kind of forgot about it.
That's fair.
I thought he was saying something else. That was,
What was I?
just
What
the
you
way
thought I
it
was gonna
sounded
say?
with a little bit of the fantastic Rogers internet you got right there. It sounded
Yeah,
like
it's really bad,
like the internet kind of drew out when you're like, I'm just trying to get, and I thought you were gonna say like hi, and I was just like, oh, like
Juan's just trying to get lit.
he doesn't have time to play games because he's getting
He's just trying to get
That's
lit.
great.
Dude.
Just trying to get lit,
Oh,
no time
God.
for
Yeah,
games.
my fucking Rogers internet's really acting up right now. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what's up with it.
Your Rogers internet is usually
It's always acting up. That's its only
That's-
state is acting up.
pretty much. That's all it
It's-
does, really.
It's never a beautiful day in Twan's neighborhood.
Yeah.
No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But Redfall is a game that
Definitely is.
Me and
It came
Ham
out.
and Mike,
Yep.
we've played a pretty good amount of it. I got 2 characters on that. One of them has about 9 hours. Layla's got about 22 or 23
Jesus.
hours. I've played a good amount of that game. I want to throw it to Ham first because I've been playing with him the most.
It seems
What
like
are your
he's enjoying it though. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, and I'll let him go. What are your thoughts on Redfall as a complete package, Ham?
Hashtag let us know, Ham.
As a complete package, although I've been playing the crap out of it and I can find fun with it, it doesn't mean it's not a fucked game.
Oh, it's fucked.
Like
Yeah.
like let me give a little context to my answer. My favorite video game is Ark Survival Evolved. And if you've ever played that game, especially in its infancy, that game was just absolutely broken.
Mm-hmm.
It's just absolutely broken. To the point where like I would love playing it, but asking somebody else to jump in with me anytime they're just like, nah, I'm just like, I get it. And that's kind of how I feel about Redfall.
Mhm.
Where it's just like, oh, you're not really feeling it? I get it.
Yeah.
I see why. I mean, I rated it myself personally a 6 out of 10
Mhm.
because it's missing a bunch of key features that you would think a game like that needs.
Mhm.
Even
The
just
PC
quality,
port
you know.
is just broken.
Dude. Real quick, they said we'll be getting 30 FPS on consoles. My instant reaction, I'm sure Ham's was as well. I'll just play it on PC, dude. It's fine. It's fine, right? Dude,
Yeah.
I tried playing that on PC. That is the worst PC port of anything I've ever played in my entire life. To the point where my Series S runs that game better than my PC does.
Wow.
Or more consistent than my PC does.
Yeah, more consistent.
And which to me is better. Because, like, dude, I can get 100 FPS on that on PC, and then all of a sudden I'm down to, like, 15. And then I'll stay at, like, 25 for, like, what feels like a full minute. And then it'll just fluctuate back. I'm like, dude, I'm not.
It's that fucking VRAM bullshit, dude. They need to. That's like half of that game's biggest problem on PC. Is like I monitor that because I'm fucking anal like that, and it's constantly through the roof.
Video games in general need to figure out VRAM issues, man. Like it's insane.
It's this
because you look at Star Wars, and that's a game that's like critically acclaimed, and it's just like, what the fuck is happening here?
It's this fucking Unreal Engine 4.
Well, did you see NVIDIA did unveil a tech that like shrinks down like the VRAM like by like 4 times? I don't know the complete jargon about it, but they're creating something that like minimizes VRAM consumption. But I'm like, at the same time, shouldn't have to be on all the
cards, or is that going to be on like the next iteration? Because that's going to
cost
$2,000.
I'm pretty sure it's coming to like all the. I know it's probably going to be on the 4th, but I know it's going to be on the NVIDIA cards. Because that's something that's supposed to just work through their AI in general. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like, think of like DLSS, but for VRAM. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about like that, but for, so but at the same time, though, it's like, I feel like they're almost doing that because like fucking devs aren't figuring this shit out. Like, you don't need, like, I won't get into it. You keep going, Ham. You keep talking about Redfall.
Yeah, keep going, bud.
I mean, I was thinking about what you guys are saying, and it sounds like it may be more of an engine-based issue than it would be like consoles or PC. Them maybe being able to fix that without you needing to buy brand new hardware or stuff like that for maybe drivers for your PC or whatnot. But as for the console, I feel like they might be able to give them the tools within the engine itself to be able to keep the consoles from freaking out.
Yeah.
But I don't know because I'm just your fucking average gamer pretty much. So I'm just guessing. But yeah, as for Redfall, man, like I can see how it continued in Bethesda, or at least them, looking at it and saying, this seems like it should be good. Ideally, it's like, man, I mean, because I play it and I'm like, this is. Like, I can easily turn on this game over something like Back 4 Blood.
Easy.
I can turn it on over for me, I can turn it on over The Last State of Decay. Or, was it Days...
Gone?
What? No, not Days Gone. No, I'm thinking of...
DayZ?
Yes. Like DayZ or really, like I see the genre that it's kind of set in, and I'm thinking to myself, man, if this game would have came out polished, it would have been better than a lot of these other games within that kind of genre and area and whatnot. But seeing that the game sometimes. Like you'll get out of a nest, like me and Matt and Mike did the other day. We can't kneel anymore. We can't kneel
or pause the game.
We can't pause the game. We turn on the game to all 4 be able to play. We have it on midnight difficulty, and for some reason, it takes anywhere between 15 minutes to an hour for the game to realize what difficulty is actually on and realize the levels between our characters. And half the time we all pop into the same game, it says the other 2 people are level 1s and you're your level, and everything in the damn city is a one-shot, which is ridiculous. And you have it on the highest difficulty, and you're shooting and downing some of the biggest enemies in less than a clip. And it's just like... It's like, what is happening right now? So it's weird. Some of the missions don't tell you where to go
At all.
Yeah, so like,
you're like, pick up the key. You're like, what fucking key? You're like, it's like, you'll be in a fucking mansion. Okay, sorry, this is your time. I'll go out.
Oh man, yeah, I feel like I'm getting you guys hyped up. My bad.
No, it's all right. No, this is good.
I could just see Mike, get his ass, get his ass,
get it. Fucking go for it. All right.
But yeah, some of the missions you'll be on, like for instance, there's a mission that me and Matt and K Mega did together, and we're like, this seems to be broken this time. Let's like whatever, screw it, whatever. Like we found where we need to go. That's great. Me, Matt, and Mike then play that exact same mission, and we're like, oh, this is just broken.
Busted, yeah.
This is just broken because this is now the second, maybe even third time trying to do this mission, and here it is, not telling us that we have to go to the veterinary clinic. Or at least you have to go into the menu to see that you need to go to the veterinary clinic as part of the mission, but you didn't know that you're on that part.
Yeah.
So the area that we were at, freaking nothing's going on. It's telling us that we need to take care of something there, but in reality, that part's done.
Yep.
Once we actually get to the next part that we're like, and I'm saying this isn't like next door. This is like 100. This is actually like 200 to 300 meters away. And once you get there, once you open the door and get into the house, then it tells you that you're at that part of the mission. Makes no freaking sense. Another big gripe I had, and I know Matt had because he was livid about it, and goodness gracious, Sir X-Man, figure it out because it was ridiculous.
Sorry.
We got this house or whatever this. What is it called, Matt? The checkpoint houses or whatever. Safe house. Thank you. We got to a safe house, and we had to turn on the generator, but like the little grid thing is like that's right next to the door that you have to get into.
Oh,
it's just lighting you up with lightning.
Oh,
and there's no way to turn it off. And anytime you come out of the safe house, you have to run immediately.
Yep.
Or else you'll die because of the lightning in the safe house.
It feels like it's baffling. It's like I don't know who designed that, but whoever designed, there's no way someone designed that and thought like that has to be a joke. That has to be. I gotta hope that's a joke because there's no way someone designed that and they play tested it and they're like, that's awesome. That is the shit. Give us more of that. Because, dude, him's not lying. You walk outside of the door, you will get hit by lightning within a second of walking out of the door if you stand still. And if you stand still for 5 seconds, you're dead.
That is insane.
And then if someone comes to revive you, they're also going to get hit by lightning, and they're also dead. So it's so backwards.
You can die turning on the generator. Just to turn on that safe house. There's no enemies that are going to kill you.
Nope.
The only enemy is the world that is Redfall.
This is the little area they put that safe house in.
This dangerous lightning. That doesn't matter if you're freaking playing on the most rookie of levels or hard difficulties. It will down you.
That's
trying to leave. Just trying to leave the area.
Yep.
And it's in a critical area, too. So you spawn there quite a bit, and you spawn there and immediately run.
It's a battle of the reflexes. Response time. Oh, my God.
There's nothing safe about that house.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm glad you brought that up because
that's hilarious.
That is
I haven't found that place yet. I need to keep playing.
Fuck, I want to play this game now. Fuck.
Oh, it's in the second area. Mike. You'll find it.
Oh,
See,
okay.
you know what's funny, Twan, is I
No.
think that's part of the buzz for this game because
Yeah.
there's a ton of people playing it.
Yeah.
K Mega was saying like
We're all
like,
mentally
he
ill.
has like over 1,000 friends on his Xbox, which is just absolutely ridiculous. to
Yeah,
me.
that's
What
nuts.
the fuck?
Yeah,
It's silly.
but hey, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't like sifting through that many people, but he's fine with it. And he is like, man, there's like 300 people, 300 friends of mine are playing this game right now. And I was just like, that's freaking insane. But I think it's very much like Twan said. They're not playing it because it's like the most dope game.
Yeah.
They're playing it
Let's just
A, because
grab
it's
some
new,
gears. Yeah.
and B, because it's something to talk about.
Yeah.
It is.
And we have it for quote unquote free. You know, we got almost a prescription, the subscriction service. Prescription. Prescribed Game Pass.
My God,
Prescribed Game Pass.
Dose of Game Pass.
Still Spencer approved prescription, but all right. Oh my God. All right.
Yeah.
You got the prescription for your
I got some things to say when it's my turn though. I'm gonna let you finish up, Ham.
Go ahead. No, I'm done now.
Okay then.
Go
So
ahead,
we're gonna talk just for a quick second about this PC port. What the fuck is this? like
Were
I
you
don't
playing it on PC the whole time?
me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm playing it on my PC. Once I heard it's locked at 30 frames a second, I was like, no, I'm gonna play it on my PC. But let's be honest here. This is an absolute train wreck of a port. And not only is it a train wreck of a port, it is a train wreck, and I know it's this might sound silly and obvious, but it's a train wreck on a first party, like Windows. Windows is Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? They
Even
literally
Bethesda's always been PC too.
That's the thing, is the ZeniMax as a whole has always been PC oriented. So to see a game now that they didn't have to worry about the PS5, you know, they had more time to shift all the. What I'm wondering is how the fuck would this game be performing if they had to worry about the PS5? Is what I'm fucking wondering right now. Is like, would this game even exist right now?
It probably wouldn't even be out right now.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't
100%.
be. All right, this game, I have a 16 gigabyte GPU. When I play this game, in the most basic areas, I am getting about 15 gigabytes of VRAM usage. Compared to shit like I was saying earlier, Dead Island 2, that at most uses, I've seen like 9 or 10 gigabytes at ultra settings at native 4K. That is fucking insane, because this game is not a looker at all. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, actually. The art style, I'm not fucking sorry. I'm going to say it. It is not. It is not a looker. It has a nice. I get Arcane has those art directions. Deathloop was gorgeous when I played Dishonored when I was younger. It's gorgeous. Prey has has more of a realistic kind of art style, but it still looks really good. Deathloop, I don't fucking know, man. It doesn't look terrible. I won't say that. It objectively doesn't look terrible, but compared to other things Arcane has put out, it's no. All right, now to the game. I don't know where to really start with this. It's such an uninspired open world. It's like the thing is like the lore and the world building around it is interesting. Like I feel involved when I'm at a part where I'm supposed to be. I do feel like I'm involved, but outside of that, I feel like I'm just walking to objective. I feel like I never discover anything. And I'm often hoping to run into enemies. I don't feel like, I want to get by this enemy patrol without them seeing me. It's like, no, I want to fight something because I'll be running across the map for 5 fucking minutes without seeing anyone. Oh, wait, pardon me. I'll see a vampire stuck in a fucking rock. Pardon me. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like in the loot system, there needs to be more gun variety. For a game that's priding itself as a looter shooter, there needs to be fucking more variety. And I'm not talking about just damage like, this does 30% damage doing this or that. There needs to be different visual looks to these guns. There's like a handful for each weapon you got, and that's it. And that just kind of almost shows to me, should this game, yeah, that's words. Should this game been of the looter shooter variety? And it all dates back to the fact that this game's development cycle process started during the live Ceres. Yeah. live service era of Bethesda wanting shit to be monetized and pushed out a fucking door. So, just to make money endlessly. And I really think it shows in the end product here, because we saw the pre-alpha images of this game. Everyone has said this by now. I mean, a lot of people have. We all know this. It had the fucking microtransactions in the store. We saw that microtransactions.
Even the online DRM as well. Like
we all fucking saw it. We know this game was supposed to be in the vein of Fallout 76, I think that's what it is, and Wolfenstein Youngblood. And then because those games crashed so fucking hard, they're like, all right, rip that shit out, but try and complete what you got now. And what we have now is a game also, I feel like, that kind of doesn't have a real... I mean, I don't want to say it doesn't have an identity, but I feel like it's lacking a sense of direction in any which way. Like I can't tell if it thinks it's like a Borderlands-like game, if it's a Far Cry-like game, or if it's an Arcane-like game. I feel like I don't know what it is at times. I feel like I'm just kind of shooting things for the sake of shooting things. And I'm not saying the game is the worst thing I've ever played. I'm still playing it. I think I got like 10 hours on it. And it's like a mess, but it still has elements I like. When it works. Like there was this level where I snuck into like some tech station to steal a film reel, and it was fun. Like I took out the guards without anyone noticing, and then I took out the vampire and I fucking impaled it and it was dead, and then I infiltrated and took out dudes along the way. But then I finished that mission and I'm back into the most empty and boring open world I've ever fucking seen in a game, with nothing happening. And it sucks, because like I get these moments of like, I see it. I get what they're going for. Bugs aside, I get what they're going for. And then when I'm done with that mission, I'm back to
reality.
Back to roaming the empty streets of a Massachusetts town. I could fucking do that right now. I could go outside right now if I wanted to walk around the empty streets of Massachusetts. Like I could do that right now. Like it's like, I don't know. I don't think it's I really don't think it's terrible. Like, I think there's fun to be had for the people that enjoy those genres in particular, including me. But some serious, outside of the bugs, some serious fundamental work needs to be done on this game when it comes to the enemy AI, when it comes to all the bugs, when it comes to the texture bugs, when it comes to the PC port, when it comes to the open world, when it comes to the way story missions work. Because we got to be honest here. And let me know, Matt, tell me to shut up when you want me to shut up, because I'm sorry, I ramble way too much.
You're all set, bud. You're good.
Is the mission, like Ham said, and Ham, thank you for saying this, the mission structure is fucked. There's like any mission that has any form of a complex structure setup is completely fucked. If it has multiple steps that you have to do, fucking good luck. Take a shot and just run about that fucking area. Like that mansion, I almost said episode, that place with the mansion when you're finding out the Hollow Man's past, yada yada. I won't spoil it. But it's giving you the most vague ideas of what you have to do. And sometimes you already did the step, like Ham said, you already needed to do. And you're just running around like a chicken with your fucking head cut off, pressing X on literally everything, trying to figure out what to do. And then like that one time we had to completely restart a fucking mission because it didn't keep up with our progress. Or I don't even know what the fuck happened. And then Ham fell off the map and then his game wouldn't load back in and all he saw was a black screen. Like, dude, like I feel bad for Arcane. I don't really feel bad for Microsoft or Xbox on this, but I feel bad for Arcane because like I don't understand how this game just launched like in this state. Like I watched Phil Spencer's interview and I'm like, okay, I get it, but like I just don't get how it launched this broken. Like I feel like, and it's a $70 game. In Twan's currency, that's nearly $100.
Yeah, with taxes. Like, it is $100 with tax.
$100 with tax, dude. Yeah. There needs, and like Phil said, he knows everyone knows this is $100 game in certain fucking territories. This isn't just $70. This is $100 fucking dollars.
Three digits.
Yeah, put it even to more perspective. This shit, and then we'll go into this later because I'm sure we're going to discuss the Phil Spencer interview, so I won't get into that.
Yeah.
But hopefully, Microsoft Arcade, apparently some like the support studio that worked on this game might be helping out to fix it too. Hopefully that this game will get the attention it needs to be put into a spot where it's like more people can actually sit down and enjoy it. The amount of times I went to sit down and enjoy the game and just try to enjoy it, and the game either crashes or the buttons stop working for me, or I don't know where I'm fucking going in a mission. It sucks because I swear to God, it happens every time I start to have fun. I swear to God. And I'm just like deflated. So I wish nothing but the best for Arcane. I hope they get this shit fixed because I think there is something fun here because I do enjoy these type of games. You guys know me. I fucking adore first-person shooters, especially ones that allow me to play single player. They also got to fix the scaling for when you play single player because spawning in random 8 vampires while I'm running down a street, even though there's nothing anywhere, is fucking insane. There's like I said, there's a lot on a fundamental level that needs to be worked on. But I trust Arcane. They're a very, both studios. They're very, very talented. And yeah, that's it. I got to stop going on tangents. We got a lot to talk about. So that's my take on the game. It's fun, but very, very flawed. Very, very flawed.
Has Bethesda ever released a multiplayer focused game that wasn't absolutely like broken at launch? Like I know Fallout 76 was a disaster. Fucking even Elder Scrolls Online was really bad when it first came out. And fucking even like sorry, we say?
I was gonna say I think Elder Scrolls Online might be the most successful one as far as launching.
Yeah,
I remember it was very bare bones at launch. Like I remember
it was, but it's like that game functioned at least.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
So
that's the thing. I feel like they released them very bare bones, and then over time it's like, okay, now we got to fix this up, and then eventually become something. Like for even 76, I feel like 76 has improved a lot.
76 is pretty fun now. It's actually a relatively good game. It's a good time.
It functions.
If you got like people to play it with, it's a good time. But Mike, you said you're done?
Yeah, I'm all set. I've been ranting too long.
Okay, so this game, I enjoy what is the structure of this game is something I enjoy. What I don't enjoy is the fact that it's Arcane and the backlash. They deserve backlash, but it's like I don't like the situation. This game is so obviously not finished that you're painfully reminded of how unfinished the game is about every 20 minutes while you're playing.
Yeah.
Something happens about every 20 minutes, probably more often than that, where you're just like, oh, that's just broken. That's not the way it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not supposed to function like that.
So like, as for like, what's wrong with the game, I feel like what went wrong with this is the mix of Unreal Engine 4. I don't think Arcane Austin's ever worked with Unreal Engine 4. Prey was on CryEngine.
What was Deathloop on?
Deathloop was on Void Engine, but that's Arcane Leon, and Arcane Leon has their own proprietary engine, which is the Void Engine, which is amazing. It's fantastic. But Unreal Engine 4, their first multiplayer game, it's what it is.
Yeah,
it's what it is, being a relic of like 2018 ZeniMax. It's so much going wrong with it, plus the fact that this game needed another year, and I feel like Bethesda was like, yeah, you're not getting another year. Just this has to be.
They just wanted to get it out there.
Yeah, this has to be out now. And I feel like whether or not it can be turned around really hinges on the engagement with this game in the rest of this year. I feel like if there's not enough engagement with this game the rest of the year, I find it hard to believe that they'll allocate many resources to fixing it. I don't think they will. I feel like they'll cut their losses and move on. but I mean, I in agreement with you guys. There's something there that's fun. Um, it's every now and then you get a touch of what arcane games are known for, but it's not there as often as it needs to be. I don't consider this to be like this doesn't feel like an arcane game to me.
Yeah, I agree.
There's not much player agency. I know they talked a lot about that. You can play stealth, you can go guns blazing, you can look for alternate routes, but like there's no point in me looking for alternate routes or playing stealth if I don't have stealth takedowns.
Well,
yeah, or the AI just being fucking
it's like you're
Sorry.
fighting things that are just fucking stupid, you know.
Dude, I don't have stealth takedowns. I walk up behind an enemy and try to do a stealth takedown. You just fucking
smack his
him in the
ass.
It's like
yeah,
you know.
That's pretty much what you do. Like as for enemies, dude, the AI in this game, again, not finished. It's just not it's broken. It's like I can walk up to an enemy on the hardest difficulty and just stand there for like 10 seconds before they shoot me.
Yeah.
And I can shoot them
tell
a
them
few
about the
times.
umbrella. Tell them about the umbrella ability as Lila, whatever her name is.
Yeah, there's an ability where like she puts up a shield and the shield absorbs damage. So if an enemy's not shooting at you, then you don't absorb any damage. And the whole point of the ability is that it absorbs damage, and then when you use it, it blasts all that damage back out. And if you can't if there's no damage to blast out, then that makes half of Layla's abilities useless. It's just a useless ability. So, I mean, I don't know. I think there's a fun game here. I know Ham said he rated it a 6. I rate this game because I'm rating it entirely on what it could be. I rate this game a 7.5. Now, if I'm rating it on with its technical issues, I probably go lower than Ham on this. I probably go at like a 5, maybe less. Because with its technical issues, it's just
a mess.
The flickering shadows, dude. The textures popping in and out. It's fucking. I've just
seen players disappearing completely.
Matt was T-posing for me for like 5 solid minutes yesterday. It was like Ham was glitching through the fucking floor. It was like, I don't know, man. It's crazy.
It's one of the few games. This and a game Ham mentioned earlier, Jedi Survivor, are the only 2 games I've ever played that run best on my Xbox Series S versus my Series X or my PC. Like, and I don't know how that makes sense. I don't know why that's a thing, but it does. It's silly to me. Like, textures on my PC on REDFALL take like 10 minutes to load in, it feels like. On my Series S, I load into an area and it's there. On my Series X, another 10 minutes, and it just looks like goop. It just looks like
it does.
Goop. It looks like a mess. And it's a shame. There's so many, like when the game works and it looks the way it's supposed to look, it's a really good looking game. It's just 85% of the time it doesn't look like how it's supposed to look.
Yeah, the textures starting even loaded.
So yeah, like I don't want to just pile onto Redfall. I mean, you know, the launch is what it is. Game's out. You can play it or not play it. Make up your own mind. But you know, I'm enjoying it for what it is right now. I recommend playing it in co-op if you're gonna play it. They say you can play it solo. This game, with as dull as the world is and not filled in as it is, you're gonna get bored playing it solo. Play it with friends. So, highly recommend playing it with friends. But if no one else has anything to say about that, Twan, you haven't played it. Do you have any thoughts based on what we've said about it?
Well, I've definitely seen a lot about the game too, right?
Yeah.
Like I've seen some videos and all that kind of stuff. And the game, it definitely has potential. Like some of the moves and like cause all the characters themselves are, you know, they're all very unique, right? Like they all got their own quirks and everything, right? Like I know, like this one guy, I forgot his name, the dude with the yellow jacket. He could like throw a thing and he could like teleport.
Yeah.
Like just shit like that. It's like it looks like it could be a lot of fun. It's just man. It's just not, the game's just not done. You know, man, they need like at least another year in the oven.
Can I say something?
I agree with that. Yeah, go ahead.
One last little closing thing.
Okay.
But it's about that. I think they should pull something like Borderlands is known for this. Borderlands and Tiny Tina's. When you're playing by yourself, actually, you can do it in multiplayer too. But you can combine class abilities after you get to a certain point. And I understand that makes all the characters less unique. But if you're playing by yourself,
Doesn't matter.
I don't. Yeah, it's like I honestly also don't think it's enough just to have those one power sets.
Yeah.
It's not enough diversity at all for like. Hey Bill, thank you for stopping by.
Bill,
I
what's
just want
up?
to say that.
Mhm.
But it's not enough diversity
Yo.
of like powers or gameplay loop to sustain it at all.
Yeah.
And I enjoy playing as Jacob, but I don't snipe at all because like I mean I snipe from time to time, but I don't feel like it's really. I don't feel like it's worth doing a lot of things in that game in its current state. I feel like I'm just kind of doing it because I can, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to snipe and sneak in. I'm like, well, really, the outcome's going to be the same regardless of what I do because I'm going to kill one person and everyone's alert.
Yeah.
Everyone's ready to freaking, well, at least pretend to try to kill me. So, yeah, that's kind of, my take on some. I really think if that game is going to have a comeback, it's going to go through some massive structural reworking.
Yes. 100%. But I think that brings it into the Redfall discussion. I feel like the next big thing we gotta wrap that up because the next big thing is probably going to take up another good chunk of our show, and that is the Phil Spencer interview with Kind of Funny XCast. Ham, I know you watched it. Mike, you've been talking about it. Twan, Mike's been talking to you about it.
Yeah, well, I saw bits and pieces here.
Yeah,
and there
Twan's seen a little bit of it.
I've seen a good amount.
Rip Xbox. Just kidding. I'm kidding.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll start with
the
that.
doors.
I guess I'll start with that first of all. So, this idea, there's a point in the interview where Phil Spencer says, making great games isn't going to get people to sell their PS5s, or no, he said Starfield being an 11 out of 10 won't get people to sell their PS5s. But he said that making great games for Xbox, just doing that isn't enough to win the console race. Now, I think he's right on that, but
absolutely is.
Not really my surprise. I shouldn't even say it's my surprise. Everybody took that, ran with it, and now the headline is Xbox. The Xbox head Phil Spencer says Xbox doesn't need to make great games. Can I say something? That is now the headline. Yeah, go ahead.
And I wanted to say this. How can somebody be incredibly surprised by this when their literal current structure of profit is Game Pass and releasing games day and date on PC and also making sure games can at least be streamed to previous gen consoles? I don't understand how we could be fully aware of this now, technically since 2017, I believe is when Game Pass launched, and not realize this is Microsoft's path for winning back consumers or gaining consumers as a whole. He wasn't saying that they're going to just release shit games. He wasn't saying that. This is what's frustrating to me, because I swear to God, I thought like people realize that their whole goal now is seriously based on engagement. Releasing great games isn't going to be enough to just get people to fucking toss out their PS. Who the fuck's going to toss out any console just to play another exclusive? Let's be real here.
And also, that's not the goal.
Yeah,
it's not the goal. It's frustrating because like that never has. Realistically, I mean, this isn't like the 360 generation. Like Phil said too, they lost the most crucial generation to lose. That is objectively true. That is not subjective. That is completely objectively true. Everyone has built their library.
Tom says get them.
Get them. Tom has built. Everyone has built their library on PlayStation. I'm on that, at least a console of their choice of that generation, and the main winner of that generation was the PS4. That's objectively true. By double.
Yeah.
And that is one of the reasons why Microsoft made the Game Pass and day and date on PC initiative, because they can't compete with that. It would take literal generations of having like 90 plus 10 out of 10 games to even remotely shift it in that way. The market is not the same compared to the 360 and PS3 generation or the original Xbox and PS2 generation. Things have changed drastically, and this is their way of competing now. He's not saying they can just release shit games and Xbox lost and it's garbage. He is not fucking saying that. And I can't believe I have to fucking spell that out for people almost twice my age, but I won't get into that.
Yeah.
It's just a comprehension issue, you know.
It's not even a comprehension issue. It's a general pushing. It's disingenuous. It's incredibly
purposeful.
It's purposeful and it's fucking annoying and obnoxious that's the way people are running with it when that's obviously not what the fuck he was saying. And it's annoying that people are like, there's like all these response videos to him saying, oh, exclusives are important. He never fucking said they weren't, guys. Get real for a second. He did not say that. He said primarily that exclusives are not enough to make Xbox overtake PlayStation, and it's also not the goal. Yep, take your time. It's I don't know. I feel like it's a lot of disingenuous, like, just nonsense of how people are taking it. He's not saying that they're just going to constantly release garbage because they can't beat PlayStation. He even replied to was it oh my goodness, what was his name? He hosted the Xbox E3 once. Paris, I believe, it was Paris.
I'm back.
Paris tweeted that, like, I don't know if it was Paris or another influence, but he tweeted out something like, Xbox doesn't need great games to beat PlayStation. Xbox just needs great games. And Phil Spencer replied, true. He wasn't saying they're going to release shit because they can't beat PlayStation. I don't understand why people are it's like people just are not going to derail, like people saying PlayStation's dead because they shut down a AA studio, which I'll talk about. I want to talk about a little bit later, that made the Concrete Genie. People are being very disingenuous and saying, oh, look at that, PlayStation's just as shit. I'm like, that's a completely different situation. Stop it. It's frustrating because I feel like, and everyone's like, oh, look, he's like going to step down. I'm like, no, he's being honest because they pushed out a fucking broken game that cost nearly $100 for Twan. Like it's like, all right, enough from me. I'll be fucking never nonstop.
All right. So Ham, you watched the interview. What do you think? Do you think that Xbox is done making great games, bud? Do you think this is the end of Xbox? That's my question to you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think you're nailing it right now. It's time to pack up.
I think
we're done.
The Xboxes,
Shitbox.
Get them. They were trying to drop like $70 billion on Activision.
Nope.
They got Bethesda, they got Obsidian, they got Playground, they got Compulsion, they got all these other studios, and Phil Spencer's disappointed at the state that Redfall is in. I'm saying, you put out one bad game, let's shut everything down. Let's close it down.
Yeah,
we're done.
Yeah,
I mean,
I agree.
This right here is proof that a game that they that they happen to be I guess you can kind of say they're in charge because Xbox is the whole brand that takes care of everything, right?
Sure.
We should say that the studios that they bought, even though they were working on the games prior to being on the Xbox brand, Xbox should take 100% fault and they should just shut down all of their studios because of that. Yep, you should just sell
it all.
Just. I mean, is it worth anything anymore? I mean, heck. There's just. You call up Arcane and see what they're up to. They're just drinking some brews and hanging out, eating some barbecue in Austin. Pretty good stuff. But no, seriously. I watched the interview with Phil Spencer, and it was an interesting interview because I had it in my heart that, like, hey, I've heard some of this stuff before. I've heard him say, we need to do better. We need to be more on top of things. I've heard that jargon from him before. But one thing that I haven't seen from him before is visual frustration.
Yeah, he looked miserable.
Yeah.
He looked like he had just got done firing somebody.
Yeah.
And he just got done being in an argument with them and stuff like that. He looked hot. He looked very angry. And I mean, shout out to Kind of Funny.
Yeah.
I don't really watch their podcasts really at all, but like when they have something like that, I definitely tune in. And what they did with asking questions on there and whatnot was
very well
fantastic.
done.
It was
Very well
fantastic.
done.
I cannot I cannot stress enough how much we needed that as fans in this in the aspect of clarity and whatnot.
Yes.
So we get this clarity, and what do we do with it, right? We just
Yep.
shit all over it.
Oh, thank God you said that. Thank God you said that. Keep going.
You know, like
No, yeah.
and I kind of get it in a sense because people aren't so used to a company of that stature being that transparent.
You're fucking
So
great.
when
Keep
they
going.
hear
Of
when they say that kind of stuff, like, hey, we're being honest with you, we're being upfront, they're just like, they don't know what to do with that information. So what we need to do is just
Turn
doom
to
and
bad
gloom
news.
because
Turn
this
to
is just, I mean, for him to come out and say this stuff, it has to be the worst thing in the world and his job must be on the line. Instead of, we've been clear the entire time about our positives. Now that we're bringing you negatives, we need to shut down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, so we can be loud and proud about our positives, and you guys are just, you know, high fiving and cool. And a lot of the people that, you know, see these positives question it anyways.
Yep.
And say, oh, it's not really that positive. Oh, you have 50 million players. You guys are not making any money off of that. Those are the same people. Those are the same people telling us fans of Xbox how we need to feel about the company, saying that, yo, you need to tell Phil, you need to DM him and tell him that his job is in jeopardy. You should tell him what he needs to know before Satya tells him. And it's just like, get real.
Yeah, I heard. I saw you in that debate with the other guy. He was saying like, "Oh, demand better," and you're like, you said demand, and then you said, "I demand you be a better person." Remember? You remember that one?
That's fucking funny.
Yeah, that was hilarious. I fucking love that.
That's my favorite thing you've ever done.
Yeah. So I demand you be a better person. ... Did that work?
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking funny.
That's
And he's like, not me, you idiot. He's like, not me, you idiot.
Doesn't work on me.
The company. I was like, well, if it's not going to work for you, then how the hell is it going to work for a $1 trillion company?
That's fucking funny, Ham. You fucking went right for the jugular. I love that.
Dude,
people,
people have this like, I made a video today that one publication specifically, I just fucking spit roasted. Like, okay, but like, dude, that I'm actually really excited about that video. But like Ham said it like, dude, we ask for transparency and honesty from companies all the time. You know how many times we've asked for that from Jim Ryan? Jim Ryan's not going to give you that. You know how many times we've asked for that from Xbox? Xbox traditionally is not going to give you that. They traditionally will not give you that. That's the first time a company that I care about. I'm sure it's happened before with other companies, but a company that I give a shit about. That's the first time a company that I care about has come out and just spoken. The head of that company has just come out and spoken super honest about the brand.
The literal CEO.
Yeah, he wasn't lying. He wasn't like trying to spin
trying to fluff
positives
anything
onto
up.
it.
Yeah.
He wasn't ducking questions. He wasn't flipping them and trying to answer them separately and not really answer. He was overtly direct with everything he was saying.
He said it was a. Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I was saying, and everything he was saying was so honest, and I haven't heard Phil Spencer be that honest about Xbox ever. And it's stuff that needs to be said. Like Mike mentioned earlier, losing the most important generation to lose. Like, just in the same way that I spent all Xbox One generation building a digital library on Xbox One, double the amount of, like, for every one of me, there's like 10 people on PlayStation who did the exact same thing on PlayStation.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's like you spent upwards of $1,000 amassing a digital library of games. Hey, here's Starfield. Ditch that PlayStation and come play
Yeah.
Starfield. It's like, that's
Just give
not
up
how it
everything you
works.
had. Just give up
Yeah,
everything you bought on that console and just
it's
buy.
so not
Yeah.
how it works. That's not real
Yeah.
life.
And
then
if it's
they're like,
oh, sorry, go on. I'll
no,
say
I'm gonna say
afterwards.
it's like, and then they're like, well, you saying that they're they're trying to kill PlayStation? It's like, that's no, they're not trying to get people to sell their PS5s. What they're trying to do is just make things that get people invested in the ecosystem. They don't care about consoles. They'll make the consoles as long as people buy them. They'll make the consoles, but that's not. They don't give a shit about that. They're looking at the
Mhm.
ecosystem: PC, console. Now, I mean, hopefully for them at some point, mobile. That's what they really want, and
Or
then
like
also
cloud, right?
cloud,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then also cloud. It's like the console. There's no winning that. And I use the example of the 360 versus PS3. All my friends in middle school and high school, when we talked about games, we weren't talking about the PS3. Nobody gave a shit about the PS3 at my school. I never, like, nobody was talking about PS3. I didn't see a PS3 in person until I was in like ninth grade.
Matt's never seen a PS3. I'm just kidding.
Dude,
It's
for like
just-
2
sorry,
years
man.
after,
It's just a
for
myth
like
to
2
him,
years,
you know?
yeah, for
It's
2
just a
years after
myth.
release, I never saw one in person. So like,
Yeah.
like this idea, like, oh, they need to have this amazing generation, and all of a sudden it's fixed. They did that with the 360 generation. You know who won in console sales at the end of that was the PS3.
Yeah.
But like, general consensus is the 360 fucking smoked the PS3. That's general consensus.
Yeah.
But that's not really how it happened. So it doesn't matter like what or how good of a generation they have. They're not going to beat PlayStation and console sales. That's not a thing that happens. So it's like he's telling you that is honest, and then because he's honest, he's just gonna get fucking smoked for it by fucking games industry. Biz. I mean, okay.
Oh, can I say something real quick, Matt?
Yeah.
This is also, we've heard Phil Spencer say we need to do better, but this is, I think, the first time I've ever heard him say this is a personal failure on him. What happened to Arcane?
Yeah. He was hinting at being like, he was hinting like, dude, this could be it. If I do one more of these, this is done.
Yeah,
like I'm out.
Yeah, it's like it's. And it like, this is like, I know everyone, like, I was talking to people last night and they think the situation, like, I'm not going to get into fucking people that are so far gone up their own ass, it doesn't matter. But this is different. I'm not going to say this is different from all the other times, but in a way it really is. Like, I've never seen him be like, yeah, we're like, I don't know. This to me is different. He didn't even hype up the showcase. Like, he's like, nope. I can't just sit here and hype it up to you because we've done that to you every year. We just got to show up. Like, people were like, oh my God, that means it's going to suck. It's like, no, but it's because he realizes we've been fucked with for
Yeah, because he knows we have so many false promises, you know.
He knows that.
Yeah.
And then now the first $70 game, which he admitted, by the way, that he's like, yes, I know this is a $70 game and it's bad. Is like, he's like, I can't just sit here and tell you things are going to be great. He's like, I know I told you that before and look where we are. He's like, we just need to show up. And I think he knows that, like, if Starfield launches and it's a disaster, and even though he said, and even though this is funny, he even said himself, like, you don't have to take my word for it. I understand.
I was going to say, I'm glad you brought that up.
That Starfield's going to be great, and we've done a great job with it. He really did. He's like, I'm going to have to go. I'm going to have to leave. Because
that's basically what he's saying. He's saying, like, if Starfield is broken, then that's probably it for me at Xbox. And I don't know, like, I get it. It's all promises that he's made before, but it's the way he made it, the way he talked about it, and the way he, like Mike said, he didn't hype up that showcase. And any interview Phil Spencer does before a showcase, he's gonna figure out how to turn it and hype up the showcase. He didn't do that at all. He was very direct in saying like you can believe me or don't believe me, and I know you have no reason to believe me until you get the game in your hands.
What the hell happened? Did I get disconnected?
Yeah, my internet was screwing up for like a good minute.
Oh,
Dude,
really?
Yeah, I got.
That's not good.
What the hell was the last thing you guys heard me say?
Oh, dude, I was.
Well, that
talking.
wasn't just me. I was just like sitting there.
Okay,
just like,
okay, I'm glad that like,
I
everyone
walked
just
out of the room for
stopped
half a
talking.
second, and everything stopped, and I was like,
Yeah, Discord completely just yeeted itself off for me.
Just
Oh, that's
completely
good.
crashed.
I was
The thing, the
talking.
last thing I
Well, yeah,
heard,
go ahead.
I heard that Mike was talking about something about Phil Spencer or something. About Phil Spencer. I
No,
forgot.
yeah, just him saying it's how it's a personal failure, and how Matt
Yeah,
said he
yes,
agreed
that's
with
what it
me
was, yeah.
about how he said don't
Yeah.
trust him on Starfield until you actually play it.
Until you play it.
And it
Yeah,
and
yeah,
he's
until
like,
you have it in your hands. Yeah, that's what
And
he's
that- and that's
saying, right?
and I think the funny thing is he took a quote. I felt like it was a quote straight from Jim Ryan. It felt like him. I'm not kidding. Like it felt like he took a quote straight from him because he said, "We're gonna let the games do the talking," and that's one of the few things I remember Jim Ryan actually saying. That like actually was like, that's a smart thing to say. And then Phil said it now, and I'm just like, thank God.
yeah,
Like, thank God that he did mention in the interview. Finally, I'm starting to see, the other side of the damn hill.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, this dropped right before we start the coast or something like that. This made just the uphill climb just a little bit more slippy than I anticipated. But I'm starting to finally see it. We got like this whole other team helping to build to help build the performance for Starfield. All the people that we could have, or like some of the people that we had that we could have used to be able to work on Arcane. He pretty much said we probably overdid it with the help of Starfield and completely forgot about Arcane and just left them in the dark. Because he did say it's a shame that we have this many people within our business that really know how to use Unreal and we left them in the desert.
The coalition's like pretty much always on Unreal, right?
They're like the best team you could get outside of Epic themselves. They're like the best team you could get for Unreal Engine.
I think they ended up writing a plan for for Arcane or for whoever's going to actually take over the helm of that to get it to where it needs to be. But the thing is they did that too late.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So really interesting. But yeah, continue, Mike. I apologize.
Oh no, don't apologize. You're completely right, and that's all I really have to say. And we're never like just feeding off what you said. Back off of what you said earlier. This might be one of the last times we'll get that kind of genuine, straight up honesty. I don't know if like in which way, but we see like so many well-respected journalists, quote unquote. I don't want to like shit on gaming journalism as a whole. I'm not into that.
Yeah, as a whole, sure.
But we have major like even media influencers like just absolutely just taking everything he said out of context or skewing it in a way that's obviously not in the way he meant.
Yep.
And it's only
they're just openly showing their frustration instead of talking about the facts.
Yeah,
they're just
exactly
talking about their frustrations and how it could be perceived instead of how it actually is.
And honestly, it's probably even doing more. And the thing is that honesty might be even though it's minor, but it is doing more brand damage. And now Phil has to sit there and be like, I can't even be honest to my fans now.
Yeah. Now
I mean, my fan, Xbox's fans, my fans.
Yeah, it's like now that's the point. It's like you rarely ever see that, and with the response it's gotten, you're not going to see it again.
Yep.
So you saw it once. He was honest with you guys. He was giving you some real talk, and you guys responded.
I hope I don't see it again, though. To be honest.
No, yeah.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. You're probably not ever going to see that again. Yeah, probably not going to see that again. With the shit he's getting here, that's not.
Yeah, everyone just takes his words and just twists them, you know.
Yeah, just fucking make up lies and stuff. It's whatever.
Even though I think Mike just brought this up, how I think Modern Vintage Gamer literally made a tweet of Microsoft doesn't
Oh,
need
yeah, it's
to
vintage
make a
gamers,
game.
that's it.
Yeah, they don't need to make games to sell consoles. They just need to make great games. And then,
Yes.
like I said, Phil Spencer replied, "That's facts. Like
Yeah.
it's true, right?" So
Well
that I
said
think
and
that
true.
yeah, that tweet alone just proves everyone just blowing this whole thing out of proportion.
And then what Mr. Inferno said in the chat is exactly how people took it, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like BS, like Phil said, he doesn't want to make great games anymore.
Yeah,
like
we
who
required
says
all
that?
these studios to not make games anymore. We're done.
It's so disingenuous. That's what makes me so mad. Or a majority of the takes, some are like, I want to say some are in good faith in the sense of like they want Microsoft to try and like topple Sony, which I think is like a suicide mission if all they do is try to
It's not
topple
gonna
Sony.
happen.
But
Yeah.
the thing is so much of it is so disingenuous. It's actually frustrating. But at the same time, I can't control it.
Yep.
And it's unfortunately the last time we're probably ever gonna get that kind of honesty. Maybe we'll see, but at least to that degree.
Dude, especially if they're successful, like especially if like this whole Redfall thing comes and goes, Starfield comes out, it's a success. Forza comes out, it's a success. Hellblade comes out, it's a success. Like if they get on a roll like that, then you're definitely never hearing honesty again.
Yeah,
You're never hearing that again. So
Yep.
it's like, dude, I don't know. I say I applaud Phil for going on there because, and I said this.
Well,
in
he
my
didn't
video,
need to go on there,
Yeah, he didn't need to go on. That
Yeah.
interview was probably planned weeks in advance, and it was probably planned thinking that it would be taking place under entirely different circumstances.
Yeah, like, oh, look
hey,
how good Redfield's
Yeah,
falls. Yeah,
Rawfield.
Raphael.
Rawfield.
Good Raphael.
Rawfield.
Look at, but yeah, it's like,
well, we got 80s, we got a plus 80 on Redfall. Well, we're so proud of
Yeah.
ourselves. A
yeah,
pat
you
on the
guys
back,
put
you
out
know?
an awesome game. What's it feel
Yeah.
like? How proud are
Yeah.
you? And then and the entire mood of that interview of what it probably should have been
Yeah.
is
Completely
now
flipped.
shifted.
Yeah.
And instead of saying, you know what, I can't take the heat. I got to back out. We can't do that.
Yeah, just cancel it.
He just took it right on the fucking chin, and
Yeah.
he said, "Dude, I'm I'm fucking sorry, dude. I don't know what to say here. Like, I gotta be honest with you guys. I didn't like. He did all he could in that situation, and I appreciate that. But
PlayStation better? I'm just kidding.
Right? Yeah. That's
How people took that.
That's
That's dead ass how people took that interview.
100%.
And not even like, PlayStation's in a better spot. It's like, yeah, I mean, they are in a better spot. Let's be real when it comes to their first party output. But it's like,
sure, yeah.
But it's, dude, this shit sucks. I've got no more to say on that interview.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until my next 20-minute tangent.
I don't blame you. There's not much to say. I feel like now for Xbox, it's just a matter of, we got actually a little more than a month until the showcase. And then, hopefully we'll be in better spirits after that. And hopefully, the narrative starts to shift and we can start being a little bit more positive. Because I'm looking forward to that. Because this whole negativity shit stinks.
It'd be nice it'd be nice if the showcase Shadow dropped Hi-Fi Rush 2. It'd be pretty sick.
Rush 2 and 3 and 4.
Shadow dropped Redfall 2, and it works infinitely better than Redfall 1.
Yeah, oh my god.
On some positives from that interview, I did hear him talk about some sort of game collection. I've heard him talk about. I heard him talk about Starfield getting all the extra help that it needed, and I did also hear him group in Hellblade with Forza and Starfield. So, if you think the whole interview was just shade, there was some good things to look forward to,
Yes.
and as well, like I said a moment ago, that that he still believes he's in like a show and prove state of mind, if not more now than ever before. So, like, to me, seeing all these people saying stuff like, "Oh, I'm done with Xbox," or "Xbox can't make good games or any kind of BS like that. I'm just like, dude, like I don't know what to tell you. Like one bad game, I get it. But but like, I would understand somebody being like jumping ship if Starfield came out just completely broken, Forza came out broken as well, and then somehow Hellblade gets like gets like pushed to the end of 2024. Then I can see like people being like, all right, it might be time to dip out. But I feel like a lot of people are just in a rush to hate more or less instead of like actually be willing to, I mean, let's be real. This is a waiting. It's like being in a waiting room for Xbox as of right now. And if we ask most people that, do content creation or pay a lot of attention to games, hey, how long does it take to make a game? They easily tell you, about 4 years if it's like a continuation of a game, in like 6, maybe even 7 years for like a polished new IP or something like that. You look at how Xbox has kind of made its move from last generation to this generation. They didn't get a lot of these studios until like 2017, 2018. And if you look at the time period, it's been 5 to 6 years for some of these studios, only a couple years now for Bethesda, and people are begging for them to somehow have a God of War up their sleeve, like after like 3 years. Like, oh man, why didn't they start? Like I get it for the Halo thing. Why did it come out in pieces? Shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But they also took the initiative to completely switch that game when it was supposed to launch.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a launch title.
I mean,
well,
it was supposed to be a launch title.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a launch. It was supposed to be a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Right. It's supposed to have more story than it actually does, but some of that stuff got ripped out. The Forge wasn't ready. The co-op wasn't ready. The couch co-op
got canceled.
Didn't end up happening.
Yeah.
So I mean, I get the frustration behind it, but if you made it all the way to this point with Xbox right now, and Redfall made you jump off the ship,
yeah,
I don't know what to tell you. Because Redfall, although it was hyped up, I think anybody with a big brain knew that wasn't going to be like Xbox's next game they put on a box.
Yeah.
We knew that because they put Starfield on the box. They didn't put Redfall on the box. They put Starfield on the box like, hey, look at this.
Yeah.
So, like, I know it sounds like I'm kind of giving some excuse for Xbox, but what I'm really trying to say is it's just like, I don't know how genuine a lot of these people that talk about this stuff are consistently, because half the time, and I'm gonna be 100% candid right now, like half the time I watch and see like some of these shows that happen, whether it's podcasts on YouTube or a Twitter space or something like that, you have an Xbox fan talking to like 5 ponies. And the ponies are telling everybody that's Xbox what to believe and how they need to feel. And people run with that. People will believe that over anything they hear from Phil Spencer or something like that. And it's just like, I don't really find what you say to be genuine, because what you're saying for the most part is coming out of frustration and anger. And then you have a bunch of people that don't give 2 shits about the platform that you're saying is your favorite, they're just there to pat you on the back, say it's okay, and you're always welcome to PlayStation. That's literally all that they're there for.
Yeah.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
They don't. They really don't want to. They really don't want Xbox to compete. They say they want Xbox to do better. No, they don't, because they're celebrating every single time Xbox has a misstep. It's celebration time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's time to it's time to kick back, have a beer, and laugh, and have a great.
Especially though. Oh, sorry. Who wants to go first?
Oh no. Okay, I'll just finish up real quick.
Go ahead.
So yeah, it's just BS to me, because the same people that said, "Oh man, I would really like Xbox to get Microsoft because it would bring more competition," are the same folks acting like it's New Year's Eve when the Activision deal came out and hit the gavel down. And it's just like,
such a great day, guys. It's like,
wait a second. Just a week or two ago, you said that you wanted Xbox to get this so gaming would evolve. But the reality is showing me right now that you didn't want competition this whole time. You just wanted to be on a winning side. Mm-hmm. So if 100%. This deal went through, you could have told everybody, yeah, I was always for it.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't go through, you can say, well, I thought it was insanely stupid this entire time. There's no win in that situation. Yep. That's all I got to say. Go on ahead, Twan or Matt, whoever wants to go first.
Twan, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, like I said, like fucking what Ham said, it's like facts, right? Like people celebrated when the Activision deal got blocked, right? I think like it was fucking New Year's Eve, and it's just ridiculous, man. Because like I said, they pretend they want competition, but it's not there at all. They just want Xbox to be shut down, and it's like PlayStation's the only console everyone owns. It's just. And even like it's so stupid because like I even see people celebrating when someone sells their Xbox to get a PSI, like, oh, such a good choice, the W, congratulations, It's just it's like it's just so obvious, It's like I'm done. All right, Matt, you go. Set to get off my chest.
It's just to piggyback on Type 1 if you agree. Oh my god, to piggyback on what Am was saying, like none of these people really want Xbox to succeed. It's all talking points. It's all like, and it's perfect example. Look at Hi-Fi Rush. Mm-hmm. Because the second something like Redfall happens, there's podcasts, there's spaces, people ready to shit on it, people ready to drag Xbox through the mud, and rightfully so for something like Redfall, like rightfully so. But look at what happens with Hi-Fi Rush. You got the people who enjoy Xbox are talking about it, we love it, but then you got people who demand better from Xbox, who want the best for Xbox. You're telling me that the game's shit. It's not that good, actually. I don't know why you're so hyped about this. This game's not that good. It's like, it's a AA game.
I had somebody say on Twitter, why did you feel the need to tell me that you're playing the game? I'm like, I'm not telling you, motherfucker. Like, I'm just posting about the game and playing it. And he's just like, I don't understand why all these guys got to say that you're playing. If you're playing this game, you're the reason why Xbox is in the situation that it's in. And it's just like, okay, yeah, because if I protest like you're doing right now, the other 30 million subscribers on Game Pass are just going to say, you know what? This man's about that life. Let's go on ahead and hop on his train instead of actually sitting down and enjoying games with friends. Yeah. Let's do that. Let's be mad at a $1 trillion company that just said that they're frustrated with themselves. Let's go on ahead and just let's go on ahead and hop on that bandwagon and try to ruin everybody else's experience and day. Let's go on ahead and do that.
Yeah.
But there's another thing I also got to say about that is with Hi-Fi Rush, when that game came on and it was well received the way it was, people are all like, "Oh, that game doesn't count." You know, that game was in development before Microsoft bought Bethesda, right?
And I actually have
that game was
something to
already
say
going to
after that
happen.
one, too.
And then
But
with
take it back.
Redfall, when Redfall comes off, it's like, "Oh, it's all Xbox's fault. This was them." Meanwhile, if Redfall was a great game and it actually released in a good state, it would have been like, oh no, this was in development way before. Like, yeah, like right, like they gotta twist it to fit their narrative, right? So they could shit on Xbox.
And just to be real quick. Oh, sorry, Twine, you finish. I'm sorry.
No, I was pretty much just about done.
Is just to say real quick about Hi-Fi Rush. Do you remember all the posts about people saying, "Oh, there should have been a media build-up for this game"? It was bullshit that they just dropped it on us.
It's not fair. They're cheating.
That was the funniest shit ever because people wanted to be able to shit on it left and right for no reason before it came out, and people were bullshitted that they were not given the opportunity to shit on it for months. How it doesn't count as a real game, how it doesn't count as an Xbox. They were fucking livid because everyone also loved it. They were fucking mauling. And let's remember, this was like 3 months ago, right? At this time, and that's something that I'm going to talk about this real quick. If people were saying like Phil needs to resign, like, you know, Xbox is in the worst place ever, and like I gotta say, like, that is objectively not true. Xbox has never been more profitable and has had highest engagement. I think in like its history as of now, it has things it needs to needs to iron out, like not even like not even a subjective way. Like there's things they need to iron out, especially when it comes to first party. But right now, Xbox is the biggest it's ever been, and it is because of Phil Spencer. Sorry. I'm a freaking idiot. Oh my god.
I love that.
Anyways, I wish I had some coffee. Phil Spencer and all the other leadership is what I was trying to go for, because it had a direction and it had a group of people that actually believed it could, like, hey Vinny, what that had the chat, sorry, that believed in the brand, and like, yeah, you know what, it has a lot of things that need to be ironed out and fixed and dealt with, but it's also in the best place it has been since I don't know, 2014. Like,
yeah,
I completely skipped the Xbox One generation because I thought that fucking, other than the backwards compatibility, even with Game Pass, because they were releasing nothing, I thought Xbox was a joke. And like, I only until Phil Spencer stepped in, it was like, oh, we got backwards compatibility, we got Game Pass, and I was like, oh, I guess they're not a joke, but I'm just gonna wait till next gen because that's when it's gonna make sense for me. I already got a PS4. They're gonna play the same games. I already don't play PlayStation's exclusives. Like, it's like, so I wait until next gen. Like, I don't think people are saying that Phil needs to resign, Phil needs to quit. I think they don't really understand how business works, because it's like,
they definitely wouldn't be able to run a company, that's for sure.
Like, it's like, I understand, like, if, like, let's just say Starfield launches a piece of shit broken mess, like, yeah, sorry bud, like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say, but maybe look for a successor. But it, like, it's so disingenuous. Like, Redfall was the final straw for Xbox. Arcane, a company that people kind of like
has a niche audience most of the time.
That one has a niche audience and is under fire from fanboys because people didn't know whether also to like Deathloop, because now it's owned by Microsoft and it was a PlayStation exclusive for a while, so people didn't know whether or not to fucking like that game. I remember that conversation, and I remember when that game was nominated for Game of the Year, people were you know, like, oh, I don't want Microsoft to get away. It's fucking, dude, I understand people like that PlayStation too. I understand that completely. But like, Arcane already is like under fire because of this. You know, they were once making PlayStation, you know, one PlayStation exclusive, and now this next game's an Xbox. It's such a complex situation, and it's really hard for me to even just nail it down to one thing. But to say that Phil Spencer is the worst thing to happen to Xbox, someone says, oh, he's almost just as bad as Don Matrick. I'm like, are you fucking high? Like, how out of touch argue
Don
with
Matrick literally almost killed Xbox.
Literally almost killed it. It almost didn't get out the fucking door because of him. Well, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, as a product someone would want to buy.
In the same way that Phil Spencer literally saved Xbox, Don Matrick literally just about killed it.
Yeah. So, he literally told people to get a 360 if they didn't want to get an Xbox.
That was his response to that was his answer to putting out a shit console at launch.
Yeah. Just get a 360. Just get a 360.
And Xbox engineers, I don't know if you remember this. There was an Xbox engineer before, I believe I can't remember if it was before the Xbox One was officially announced or right after it, but he was defending like online DRM base. Dude, the optics for like Xbox during that whole time period was a fucking train wreck. And to think that Phil Spencer hasn't completely, or at least for the most part, reversed the way Xbox is going as a whole, you're kidding. You're lying to yourself, and you're lying to other people for what? I really don't know.
Who knows, right?
It's
like Phil Spencer doesn't get enough respect. I mean, like he was literally handed a train wreck, and it was like, fix this. Like he was like literally handed like a thing that was almost seemed like it was dead, and he had to fix it himself, you know. And he, for the most part, you know, kind of fixed it. I mean, obviously, you know, there's still some work to be done, but it's definitely a lot better than it would have been if he didn't step in. That's for sure.
Especially considering the fact that what it would have been is non-existent.
Yeah, it would have been done.
This would have been like if Phil Spencer wasn't there, this Xbox probably would have been done.
Yeah.
What was that? What was the year that was like Scalebound was canceled?
That was like 2015-ish.
I think it was like 2015 or 2016. It was like 2016 and 2017 for Xbox were, I mean,
27. It was like the worst.
Yeah, people talk about last year. Yeah, people talk about last year, and last year was bad. Like, don't get it twisted. It was terrible. But 2017 was just fucking, like, that would have been the year to kill them if Phil Spencer wasn't there. That would have been the year that did it. So it's like, the fact that Xbox is where it's at now, I mean, it's a fucking miracle, and it's a testament to why Phil Spencer most likely isn't going anywhere. So
and just to say real quick, man, I'm so sorry. I gotta stop talking, but I just want to say this real quick. Do you remember when Xbox completely, like, when the report came out that they cut their budgets for games in half in 2017 as well? That's before the acquisition announcement of all those other studios. People were like, I'm gonna be honest with you, dude. I remember people were like fucking celebrating.
Yeah,
like people were happy. Ecstatic. Like, and I'm like, why? Like, even that's when I was a freaking PlayStation fanboy. I was like, why? I mean, granted, I've eased up because they reversed DRM, the backwards compatibility, yada, yada, yada. But it's like, why? Like, I remember that. People being like, oh, Xbox is on the way out. It's like, I haven't turned my Xbox on in like 5 years. So I'm like, oh, and everyone's like fucking cracking up. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Like,
they don't want competition. It's so weird.
They say they do. That's the thing. And then when the competition finally came, you started to see them fucking squirm in their seats a little bit, and you found out who really didn't want them to compete. And that's all I'll say on that. Sorry, Matt. Continue.
You're all right. I mean, that brings us to the end of Phil Spencer's interview, and I mean that was definitely a discussion. That was pretty much the whole show, honestly, and that's about right considering. The only other thing I had to even ask you guys, and I'm pretty sure no one here cares about it, but I wanted to ask you guys anyway. So, Zelda Tears of the Kingdom comes out next week. Do you think there's any chance that it scores higher than Zelda Breath of the Wild?
I don't even know what the fuck that game ranked.
97.
97. Like 97. Yeah. Oh, I was 96.
It was at 98, and then it dropped down to 97.
Yeah, then dropped to 97.
Yeah.
But, I want to ask you guys, do you think there's a chance this score is 98? Not the same score, a better score.
The thing is, I feel like it could be better, but I feel like it could drop down again, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's got to maintain it.
Anything can happen. Ham, you said yes.
Yes, I actually do think so. Just because a lot of people weren't sure what they were going to get with the last Zelda. And I feel like they got exactly what they wanted, possibly, if not maybe a little bit more. And then they know what's coming in this one. And on top of that, there's even more to do, and it's just insane for a lot of people that this piece of hardware is doing it.
Oh, it's nuts. It's
so
crazy.
So I say the same thing about Xbox, and it's crazy that I'm able to tie that in as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because and here's what I mean. PlayStation fans, same as Nintendo fans, they know how good their hardware is. They know how their hardware runs. They know that the developers are using every inch of the hardware within those things. So when you see some Xbox games get judged, sometimes they get judged off of everything, the whole package, not just the game, but the package that that it's wrapped in as well. It's on the Xbox. It's playing on this controller. It's able to have these capabilities because this is what Xbox does, right? So the whole enchilada is being judged, and with people knowing what the Switch can do, and that the Switch is already it's somehow alive at year 150. It's like, why is this grandma still alive? This is insane. like that's the way that a lot of people are looking at the Switch at this point. It's just like
she's still breaking,
and even me, I look at she's like grandmama, she's still dunking. Like, what's going on?
She got the moves.
And I'm saying, like, I firmly believe that this is Nintendo's exit game for the Switch.
Yeah.
They may drop other games for the Switch after Tears of the Kingdom. What's that?
We're still waiting for Metroid Prime 4.
That ain't on Switch.
Who knows if they're even... for some reason, I think that's going to be like a next-gen Nintendo game.
Yeah.
I think that they're going to wait on that.
720p, 30 sub 30 FPS game for $70.
Oh,
it cracks me
gracious.
Go on.
So, yeah. I just think that a lot of people see that the Switch is already on the end of its life cycle, or it should be.
It should
hopefully.
So with Tears of the Kingdom coming out, this is an excellent opportunity for Nintendo to double dip. You sell Tears of the Kingdom. It's the last big game that you put crazy amount of money on for the Switch. It sells like freaking hotcakes. Because it's going. It's gonna. I think it's probably going to be the game of the year.
Well, 100%.
So
100%.
The only other game I think that has the competition to go up against it is Hogwarts Legacy. And a lot of people are sleeping on that game now, but they don't understand that fan base stays quiet when it comes to Harry Potter and stuff like that. Like, they don't care. They're busy doing what they're going to do. But plus that game is dropping 3 separate times this year, which is insane. But as well, so yeah, they make crazy bank on Tears of the Kingdom, drop a few other Switch games that aren't on the same level at all, and then come out with whatever 2.0 is, right? Resell Tears of the Kingdom again, just like they did for the Wii U. For Breath of the Wild, get crazy money again because now it's at 60 FPS. Finally,
yeah. Tears of the Kingdom Deluxe or something.
Yeah, Tears of the Kingdom Deluxe with a on. It just says mode. Tears of the Kingdom on a real console. That's how they advertise it. But anyways, so then they garner all that money and then have that Metroid 4 that you're talking about coming out for that, which would be insane, right? That's like a very awesome looking scenario. I think that's what that's what would happen, but I think in the sense of score for this game that it 100% has the potential, just because it's just like, how is this it brings you back to like the old school like Super NES and NES where you're playing like Mario on those games and you're just like, of all the games I've played in the history of gaming, how does this look this good on this?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
How does it sound this good on this? Like I feel like Nintendo is that brand that can can go into a that can go into like one of those places downtown, the where they feed poor people, right? They
Like
can
a
go to
soup
a place
kitchen?
downtown to feed poor people and somehow hook up a 5-course 5-star meal with garbage. It's like, how are you doing this? This doesn't even seem real. But
Right.
somehow they're managing, they're pulling it off, and everyone's calling them terrible or trash or something like that. But then they come out with something beautiful, and you're just like, I just don't understand.
Yeah.
You're just disheveled. Like you're just like, how did this app? How did he reach into the garbage can and I want to eat it so bad? What is, how did this happen? So I'm sorry, I went on way longer.
No, that was fucking
No,
funny.
you're probably
You're all
pissed off a
good.
Nintendo fanboy or something.
Well,
Good.
it's true. It's like
Good.
imagine what they'd be capable of.
Yeah.
Imagine what they'd be capable of if they had real hardware to work on. I mean, the fact that Breath of the Wild even runs on a Switch, let alone that now they're getting Tears of the Kingdom on there, it's a miracle. I don't know what they're
Yeah.
doing over there at Nintendo, but it's crazy.
Sacrificing
They're
children.
flexing on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC with last like in the
360
last
era.
generation.
Yeah,
It's like 360 era.
They're essentially doing like let's say if Xbox was in their place, they're saying this Xbox One right here is better than everything, and you can't beat it. And,
Yep.
and no matter what you do, you can have a phenomenal month, but we're gonna have a great year every year.
Yep.
And there's
Every
nothing
single
you
year.
can do.
Every single year. Doesn't matter. Doesn't
It's
matter
insane.
what happens. Nintendo's guaranteed to have a great year. It's just the way it is.
But they're very consistent with their games and talking to the
True.
community and just
True.
not feeding into anything and just doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
They're very
They
good.
definitely do what they 100% do that, man. Nintendo's weird. Nintendo's such a weird company. I don't know, but yeah, that's. I wanted to ask you guys that question. I don't know if I got the answer from either Tuan or Mike. I don't know if you guys answered it honestly.
Yeah, I was thinking.
I have no
was
idea what
thinking-
you even asked. I'm sorry.
No,
Do
but
you
the
think it has a
Metacritic,
chance?
it was the Metacritic.
Oh,
pretty
fuck it,
high
I don't
on
know.
it.
Yeah, to topple
me another game I don't
the
Well,
last one.
the thing about Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, I feel like people were going to that game kind of expecting it what to be, rather than Breath of the Wild, where it's like, oh, I don't know what to expect, and they play in there and they're blown away. I feel like Tears of the Kingdom's not gonna have that blow away factor like Breath of the Wild did, because it's kind of the same thing but better. You know, so they're kind of gonna be like, okay, I know this is kind of familiar, but oh, that's cool if they added that. So it could possibly score a 95, 96, I feel like, because like I feel like people were kind of going into it with an expectation. Well, they kind of expect it to kind of be more of the same, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
'Cause there's
no,
always-
that's a good point.
Right? Because there's always that, wow, I'm blown away. This 98, 100%,
Yeah.
rather than like, okay, this is what I'm familiar with, but it's better kind of thing. So it's a bit more underwhelming, but like, but it's kind of what they were expecting, if that makes
Yeah.
any sense.
I just
know,
think
like-
there's going to be a lot of. I mean, obviously, this game is going to be crazy long,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it'll probably be like 40
and
hours.
and, and,
minimum,
and there's going to be a ton of people that are giving it 10s or 100s or whatever that barely got into the first freaking like
Shrine or whatever. Who knows?
like shrine, temple,
Yeah.
or freaking what are they called?
dungeon, whatever they
Dungeons.
call it.
Yeah, dungeons. So so I mean, you're gonna see, as disingenuous as people can be for like certain brands, I think you'll see a lot of disingenuous but positive disingenuous reviews for Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
And you know what? I won't be surprised about it, just because I mean that game just has a history behind it. People are going to turn it on. They're going to see Zelda. They're going to do a couple rolls,
just the
and they're
name.
going to be like, "Oh my god! Oh my god!" The dodge mechanic is freaking on par. Like everything.
That's what this is amazing.
Like Twan's gonna turn it on and he's gonna cry for 12 hours. Like that's probably what's gonna happen to a lot of people.
It's like the music's not even that good. It's just like one string of the guitar. It's like, oh, this is so good. This one string of the guitar. You know, just very basic ass shit. You know, it's like.
I will say,
man needs to change his pants.
Yeah, I will say to Twan's point about people not being surprised. I kind of felt like that's what I was gonna feel like with Ragnarok, and I was.
That's true.
I mean, I think Ragnarok's a better game than 2018, and I don't even think that's particularly close.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
which one scored better in that one? 2018 or
I'm
Ragnarok?
pretty sure they tied. Pretty sure they tied both 94.
I think you're right. That's why it's not really a talking subject.
Yeah. So it's like, I feel like it's totally possible that, like, while you're expecting the same thing, you
might be a bit more underwhelmed.
I expect the same thing with every PlayStation game. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I had to do it once. Joe's in the chat, so I had to do it once. All right.
You know what? That's gonna take us out. Honestly, that's gonna take us.
Nintendo's gonna take us out.
Well, yeah, probably. Just emulate a game live on stream.
I'm just gonna let you know I'm gonna be playing Doom Eternal like every day.
Exactly.
That's all I know how to do.
That leads us into our intros. I'm gonna get.
You mean outros?
Here. Yeah, our intros.
We're just getting started, guys.
Oh my god. Yeah, thank you, Tom. That leads us into our outro.
Iron Lords podcast. We're just getting started, boys.
Yeah, that was just a warm up.
Twan wants to correct me. You can go first, bud.
Okay. Where can we fucking find you, Twan?
You can find me every Sunday on this show. You can find me on Twitter at It's Me Twan. That's it.
You can start uploading
right now. No, fuck no. But I'll let you guys know when I do start uploading.
You start uploading, bud. Get on it.
That's it.
God.
Mike, you go first.
First?
Or you
second, bud.
Second.
Going second, bud. I'm just kidding. You can find me. You can. Yeah, I was. Hard Days Mike and Hard Days Mike. Matt's having a breakdown. Okay, yeah, that's where you can find me. Twitch and Twitter at Hard Days Mike. So yeah, thank you for stopping by, guys. Thank you for putting up Matt and Twan.
I say thank you for stopping by, Mike.
And I say thank you for putting up with you, bud.
Thank you for stopping by. Ham, what's your outro, bud?
Yep. As a lot of you may know already, Ham Solo 05 Gaming on Twitter, and then TSWS Gaming on YouTube. I do shows Tuesday through Friday. Check it out if you haven't yet. TSWS. Let's go.
Sounds very good. And as for myself, you can find me at Matt Likes Games on Twitter and Matt Likes Games on YouTube. Videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm also on Ham's channel on Bullshit every Friday, so check that out on Fridays. That's a good show. I highly recommend checking that out. And I want to say thank you to the chat because we had a pretty active chat. I mean, I'm not
hit that subscribe button, you guys. Hit the like button if you haven't already. That'd be great.
Nice. That'd be good.
Do that. Tell your friend. Tell your dentist.
Word of mouth.
Your doctor.
Your grandmother.
Your grandmother. Your uncle. Your aunt. Just anybody you loosely know.
Flip
on the
our
street.
card right between that girl's titties at the.
Yep.
What the Christ was that? Okay.
Tell the lady.
When she motorboats you, just blow that.
Oh
out
my
of your
god!
mouth.
At a strip club, tell a stripper.
Just whisper in her ear.
Yep.
The game drain.
And tell her that this channel's gonna blow her mind. Okay. Because it will. So with
God
that,
help us all.
Fill you up with some creamy
sweaty
goodness.
dudes talking about.
Oh my god! Okay, can we get out of here, please?
Yeah, let's get the fuck out of here. Okay. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay.
God
thank you, chat, for stopping by. We really do appreciate it. Like Ham said, hit the like button, subscribe. We'll be back next week. I'll probably be streaming during the week, but until we see you next time.